President Bush will visit this area early tomorrow morning. He'll walk this very sidewalk and plans to talk about how well the economy is doing. But not everyone agrees today.
Officials say they were called to a home on North Maple Street and found an 18-year-old man shot at least once in the upper body. Police think the victim
has become big business around Florida. And it's not just the small crafts that are getting ripped off. Yesterday, a $2.5 million yacht.
Story this morning. Deputies are on the scene of a deadly shooting at an adult club in Pasco County. It happened at the Calendar Girls Club in Hudson on Highway 19. A 21-year-old woman
to be the hottest ticket in town this year. Thousands of visitors will flock to this museum to see the gown Diana wore when she married
17-year-old Nathan Smith for homicide. According to police, Smith and the 18-year-old were at a house on 39th Avenue playing with firearms.
Joins us now with the story. I understand things there really got out of control.
Yeah, that's right. A wild disturbance here kept police busy last night when fights broke out among a large group of teenagers. And some may worry it may happen again tonight. 60 officers were sent to the area around 2nd Avenue. At one point, Baywalk and the surrounding streets were shut down. As people were leaving the shopping area, fights continued to break out. Police closed Baywalk, blocked off streets, and arrested 14 people, including 7 minors. Police say pushing and shoving among groups of teens led to the fights.
The city needs to be challenged to find other things for teenagers to do.
Now, this is not the first time this type of incident has occurred. It's actually been a growing problem here around the area over the past year. But tonight, extra officers will be on duty to patrol the area. Reporting downtown, I'm Brian Baker. Back to you.
Thanks for that update. In other news, flooding is...
A bizarre scene in the courtroom today. A man accused of 7 bank robberies lashes out at the judge who is about to sentence him. The scene got so out of control that the accused man had to be strapped down, like a scene out of Hannibal Lecter.
Richard, you're corrupt.
Mr. Aiken,
how can you expect me to stand?
Mr. Aiken, stand.
Stephen Aitken is accused of 7 bank robberies back in 2003. Aitken has called himself a madman in court and claims to be insane. In the courtroom today, his actions appeared to confirm that.
Take him back.
You're corrupt.
He'll be.
I've had a fair trial.
He'll be.
You don't know what a fair trial is.
Aitken has lashed out in previous court appearances, but today Judge Richard Luce wasn't going to take it. He ordered Aitken to apologize and control himself, or else.
So you need to go back there and tell him what the alternatives are. He will be in here one way or the other.
When Aitken reemerged, he was strapped down to a chair with a Hannibal Lecter-like mask to keep him quiet. The judge then read him his fate.
The defendant is guilty of robbery with a firearm as charged.
Aitken was sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms and 2 concurrent terms, but not before the judge gave him a piece of his mind.
An apology to the court, a representation that he's under control, and a representation that he will not be disruptive again.
Judge Luce says in all his 25 years on the bench, he has never had to shackle or gag someone. Back to you at the news desk. Good evening, I'm Brian Baker. Our top story tonight, Deborah Lefebvre, the teacher who had sex with her 14-year-old student, has managed to avoid a trial. Earlier today, Marion County's Judge Hale rejected a plea agreement, and it appeared that Lefebvre was heading to court. But this afternoon, prosecutors dropped the charges, ending everything. They say they were more concerned about not traumatizing the young victim than putting Lefebvre in jail. Reporter Jake Roberts has been following the story all day and talked with Lefebvre herself.
I was very nervous. I have a lot of things in my past that have unfortunately became public.
Lefebvre had her new fiancé and parents by her side today. She did say that she thinks her bipolar disorder played a role in her poor decisions. An unusual arrest at one area elementary school today. A 5-year-old was handcuffed after throwing a temper tantrum, and the whole incident was caught on tape.
Hold her hands together.
The tape shows a 5-year-old girl being handcuffed after throwing a temper tantrum. The camera captured images of the girl tearing papers off a bulletin board, climbing on a table, and punching an assistant principal. Police were then called to the elementary school. The child appeared to be calming down before 3 officers approached and put handcuffs on the 5-year-old. Lawyer John Trevino, who provided the tape to the media after obtaining it from police, says the officers went too far. Police declined to comment, but an investigation into the 4 officers who were present is underway. Findings from that investigation should be public in 2 weeks. County fire crews were busy battling a brush fire today. The blaze is burning in a pasture on Lake Cook Road. The flames aren't threatening any homes, but the smoke from the fire was blowing in the direction of I-4. Earlier, firefighters were concerned the smoke could create some dangerous driving conditions during rush hour. 3 brush trucks, an engine, and a tanker worked on the brush fire all day. In health news, the rate of chronic kidney failure more than doubled in 10 years. Experts are surprised by the dramatic increase. Possible explanations include obesity, an aging population, and advances in medical care that keep patients alive longer. Coming up, Chris Murphy will be in the Weather Center with a close look at that weekend forecast. And we will take you to a home for retired primates that were once famous faces in television and movies. All that coming up next. Welcome back. There is a place not far from here that few people even know exists. It is a home for unwanted chimps, gorillas, and monkeys. What's fascinating is that many of the primates housed here were once household names. This is the Suncoast Primate Sanctuary. It's home to some 50 different primates, including this 550-pound gorilla named Otto. Otto was saved by the sanctuary years ago when a zoo was going to put him to sleep because he was sick. Now you might remember Otto from the famous commercial where he was throwing around luggage. And meet Cheetah. This is hard to believe, but Cheetah is the original chimp from the old Tarzan movies filmed in the 1930s. Cheetah is now 75 years old. Over 100 volunteers take care of the primates at Suncoast. Suncoast is nonprofit and is not even open to the public. That's all for tonight. I'm Brian Baker. Have a great evening.